This is my 2006 Mazda Miata convertible, and I got it and I love the car. It's got a lot of good things going for it, but the car's in great shape. It's only got 34,000 miles. But first time the car was in a heavy rain, got in the car the next day and went to go, and I heard water sloshing. Looked down and my feet were in a couple inches of water. So I've been on an odyssey trying to figure out how to fix it, and I think I finally got the resolution, and I wanted to share it because I couldn't find anything online that covered this. So at least not to the degree that I did. So I'll show you what I got going here. I got both the seats out. I've got all the trim out, and you can find videos online that show you how to do this. And if you look at this panel right here, what you will notice is I've taken this out. I've taken the seatbelt retractor out. Now, normally inside this panel, you have this this assembly here, and this is actually the tube that water goes through. Now, the instructions that I saw previously, they had basically said to clean this tube out, and there's a little one-way valve in there that sometimes the one-way valve gets blocked up. So what's going on is the water channels past the top, and then there's a channel that it goes into. And in my case, it looks like there was a bunch of sediment that got in the channel. So what I did was I got one of these. I found it on Amazon. I'll put a link on there for you. This is a trombone cleaner. It's a nylon cable with a brush. Normally it comes with a brush on both ends, but I've taken one off. And what I do is I remove that little assembly, and that pops out. And then what I do is inside there, see if I can get a picture. See that where that white nozzle is? What I do is I do two things. I take the wire end of this, and I just feed it up there. Now, that by itself doesn't actually, and you've got to kind of poke it around some to get it to go up, but eventually it will pop past. There's a little thing that I don't know if it's a bend or what, but if you poke it up there a few times, eventually it'll pop up. And what you'll notice is there's a little the channel is actually right back there, and you'll actually hear it tapping when it comes up there. So the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put the top up, and you're going to want to pour water through, and you're going to want to run that you're going to want to run this kind of up and down, just the pokey end, not the brush end, but you're going to want to run that up and down while the water runs. And what that's going to do is I'm imagining the sediment is all built up in that channel, and you might pop the sediment out, and you might get a little bit better flow. But what you want to do is you want to have maybe a gallon or more of water roll through it, and then continually pull down all the sediment until it's as clean as you can get it. Now, ideally, you'd actually probably want to take the top off and get to that channel and just completely clean it out. But at least if you can run quite a bit of water through it, you should be able to clean it out enough that it doesn't leak. So let me show you what that looks like. So I've got the top up. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take this. I'm going to carefully pour some water. I'm going to pour some water into that channel. And you know, this basically is like rain. And then what you're going to see, ideally in here, there should not be water flowing except down that little hole. Now what you want to do is you want to take this and you want to kind of bounce it up and down. And then you'll see, now I cleaned this out, but this was I cleaned this all out, but this entire little box here was completely full of little leaves and debris, little nuts and stuff like that. So hopefully this is helpful for you. Oh, and yeah, one more thing. You're going to want to do this on both sides because there's This is on both the driver's side and on the passenger side. You've got essentially the same, pretty much the same, kind of the same, you know, you want to kind of work that up and down, but you've got essentially the same mechanism. And if I had one that, if I had to recommend, you know, you've got a car that leaks, you're gonna know it, because you're gonna get in your car, you hit the brakes, and you'll hear water sloshing, and then you'll look, and you'll see your carpets are just completely soaked with water, which, you know, then that water starts molding, and it's a terrible experience. Even if you only saw it on the driver's side, I'd highly recommend you do the passenger side too. Just because I think, depending on how the car is sloped, you might have a blockage on the passenger side, and you actually might, the way this works is it actually might, the water might show up on the driver's side. So I would just definitely take the time, go ahead and take everything apart, do both sides, and then I think you'll have a lot better experience getting rid of that, that nasty mold. All right.